Hi everybody, Richie here. You're watching the Nerdy Pro podcast. This evening I'm joined with the spooky nerd Ruby Soho from Chaos Under No Ties. How are we doing this evening?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you very much.
Beautiful.
So, for people who aren't aware, with Mikey, who we've had on two of the last few podcasts. This is Mrs. Nobody. Yeah, Mickey's wife. So we had words are hard. So we had Mickey sort of like give us a run over of the origins of Chaos Under No Ties. So how does your parts come in?
Well, at the previous station, back when Mickey was he first started his show, I think a couple of months in, he had my co-host Dole as a guest co-host thing. And I'd made a joke in the chat about starting an emo show. And Dole was immediately on it. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. I'll do an emo show. And originally, it was supposed to just be sort of a one-off joke kind of thing, but it turned into so much more. Because I originally said I'll help with the show, with shows. I help in the background, but I didn't quite have the confidence to be on air. And this was before cameras. Back then, it was just voice as well, just audio. And then over time, I became more and more confident with it. We decided to just keep going because people loved it. Back then, they joked, everyone had a radio show when we were called The Podcast because me and Dole chat a lot. Someone said the other day, their show's usually about 40 songs and we play about 15. But we'd started the music, the show, playing the music, bigging up the smaller bands. Had some really good interviews planned. We had a couple while we were still with the old station. And then when we decided to leave that, I'd said to Dole, I was like, I want to keep the show going. And she was, immediately, she said, if we're leaving, she's leaving, she's coming with. So we rebranded as Seen and Heard, play on words kind of thing, but still with the emo scene kind of thing. But we've never just really been emo. It's just more that nostalgia.
Yeah.
So we carried on doing that. Mickey taught me how to do all the tech side of it. And now, I know how to do that. I'm on video. We've been going out to gigs. I've been to a few gigs of bands that we've interviewed. We've interviewed one of my favorite bands, which is South of Salem, which just mind-blowing to me. I've been listening to their older band since I was about 14, and that was close to 20 years ago, which is depressing to say out loud.
I know.
And I've been involved in a few of the bigger interviews. And then quite recently we've started House of Horror, which is me and another girl in Chaos Backs. I'd mentioned, I think me and Dole partnered with Dan of We Are Horror Records. He has a record label for underground, unsigned horror punk bands. He signs them, obviously. And he does a horror punk festival. And me and Dole were supposed to go just this, I think October just gone, but unfortunately he had to cancel because of a bunch of things going on. And I'd made a joke about a horror punk show. I said, oh, that would be really cool. Dole said I couldn't do it, because her day job, so she's still involved in the festival. But Bax, who's on Chaos, she was doing reviews and she said, oh, I really like horror punk. So we've got that show. So that's two of them. Also, I help with the socials and making posters. I've got another show starting in January, which people might not know. I have disabilities. I have fibromyalgia. I am a wheelchair user or walking stick or frame, depending on the day. But I'd stopped going to gigs because of the chronic pain and the fatigue. And Mickey very nicely dragged me along to a small festival the first year we got back together. and then dragged me to an even bigger one and dragged me back into the music scene. So one of the things I'll be doing as well is probably a monthly show, and it's talking about accessibility in the music scene. Because also I'm deaf, I've got hearing loss, I still go to gigs, I host 2 shows now, I interview bands. I'm finally in the music industry that I wanted to be in when I was a teenager, playing guitar, and it didn't work out.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically it's thanks to Mickey, sounding stoppy, thanks to Mickey coming back in my life, I'm finally fulfilling that dream I had as a teen, just in a completely different way.
Yeah. It's weird. It's weird how like simple little. I won't say accidents because that's not the right thing, but like just a simple little thing can open a door to something massive. I'm not saying that like you and Mickey getting back together is like a simple little thing, but like, him dragging you to that one, that little show sparked something. Then it sparked something else. So have you got a name for this new show that you're planning on doing?
Yes,
if you're happy to.
Oh, absolutely. I will be starting promo posts and stuff like that soon as well. But Mick has just said in the chat, you're welcome. Thank you, darling. The new show is going to be called Access All Areas, because accessibility, and it was. I'd originally come up with it a long time ago, back whilst we were at the previous station, but nothing really came of it. And I was kind of dithering about it, and then I went to a gig, a very last minute, to see Wednesday 13, my favourite band ever, and they had a really great. I didn't get accessibility because I was given a ticket like last minute, but their accessibility area was to the side of the I think it was like a third of the front area where the pits are, rather than up on a balcony in the middle of nowhere. And I just thought that was really good. And I ended up chatting to a guy afterwards, and I think he had cerebral palsy. He was in a power chair. He had a table on him, like on the wheelchair. And he wasn't in the accessible area. He was at the front, like in the middle at the front barrier. And I just thought, you know what? Fucking, sorry language, absolutely fair play. That is amazing. And he said, I don't want to miss out on being in the pit just because I'm disabled. And I thought, that's something I feel strongly on. You know, I always say, like, with Fibro, you need to be careful. You need to be sensible of what you're doing. You shouldn't really be getting into mosh pits, which is something I tend to do like once a year. I allow it. But I'd rather have a little bit of extra pain in my life and experience being at the front for my favorite band again for the first time in a decade than sit at home.
That's really cool. Like having that little because like you say, like normally at venues and that they'll, especially like a metal show, it's like, oh, metal, a metal show, it's aggressive, it's violent, it's sort of we'll keep these people away from the Neanderthals, and then they essentially put them away from the show. I mean, like if I turn up at a gig late and I'm right at the back, that's my fault because I didn't get there early enough to get a better position at the thing. Whereas, a wheelchair user, oh God, Bobby's just noticed I've had a haircut.
Oh, have you?
Hello, Bobby. That's right.
Very nice haircut.
Thank you. Like I say, like, if I turn up late, then that's a me problem. Whereas like, the idea of someone in a wheelchair is like sat in the middle of especially if it's like a venue like I go to Brickmakers a lot. There's like, I suppose a lot of venues have a spot where the mosh pit is going to be, and if you've got a wheelchair in the middle of that, that might have a bit of an issue there.
To be fair, throwing it out there, I have been in some pits in my wheelchair. I've been in one wall of death with my wheelchair. It wasn't massive, but it was hilarious. But yeah, I think people are very aware as well. Like this gig I went to, it was Wednesday 13. It wasn't like Devil Driver pits or anything like that. It wasn't Slipknot, but you do get your pits going. We also had a Macarena at one point. You never know what's going to happen, but it's
those
like
big scary metal heads doing the Macarena. Sort of like
every time. Oh no, it was a conga line at that one. they had a conga line for Here on the Hearse, with, singing about going to the hearse. Oh gosh, comments, any questions for me? Ask everything. Ask me the weirdest shit.
Yes, please. If you have any questions, please, just don't hold back on popping them up.
But yeah, this guy, like I said, he was not in the disabled access bit. He was in the regular, but he had his mate stood to the other side when he was next to the it was like what's it called, like the tape that they tape off a shop that's closed, or like this queue's shut, it was just that. And everyone's so, especially at metal gigs, people are just respectful. They know, this is the hour for the people with disabilities. We're not going to start a pit right here.
Yeah.
I mean, he said he had a great time. Nobody knocked his wheelchair. There was a bit of swaying because everyone does. He was having a great time. And I mean, I've gone to gigs a lot of the time. I'll be towards the back, or if I get accessible, it'll be some kind of balcony. But if I go with just my walking stick, I do tend to try and get into the crowd for a bit. And if I end up at the front and somebody breaks my nose, that's on me. I'm already disabled. What's it going to do?
Yeah, I mean, you say about respecting where taped areas. I mean, I've lost count how many times I've been at a gig and there's been a couple of girls stood to one side and the biggest dude is stood in the way, blocking because the pits get rowdy, they do, right? But the thing that people don't understand, because they stereotype the metal scenes and everything, is the fact that someone goes down, 4 people stop and pick them up. Oh,
absolutely.
Right? You're back on your feet. We've let go. You haven't fallen over again. Right, off we go.
Absolutely. I mean, I'd gone. Who was it? I'd seen Agabas, who, by the way, shout out, if death metal band with a saxophone player from Norway. Absolutely insane. And I made it with the second ever UK gig, first tour, and it was mental. It was there's a venue in Bristol called The Exchange, and they have an upstairs stage which is small, and then you've got the downstairs one which is smaller than this room. And he said that he worried because he knows who I am. He recognised me. He was worried. I wanted to tell me, by the way, there's a Wall of Death starting. And I stood there hyping up. I took my dad. My dad plays saxophone. It's the whole thing. He loved it. Gave him my walking stick. And my dad's like, oh, God, I know what you're going to do. And I was just like, all right, let's go. And I videoed it. And I think I've got the video of me jumping into it and then just lights and darkness everywhere. It's on Instagram somewhere. But he even said, at first he wanted to just let me know, by the way, I'm doing a Wall of Death's going to start. And then he thought, she could take care of herself. She goes to a lot of gigs. And I think that's it. People know, don't start a pit right at the back next to somebody with a walking stick or anything like that. But also, people aren't going to get in the pit area if they can't handle being in the pit area. Yeah. But like you said as well, you've got, the big burly hefty guys that are also the gatekeeper of the pit. They protect anyone either side, and you see disabled people, you see kids at the front, and anyone that's there will form a wall to be they can look, but let's not, we don't want these kids getting hurt. It's just the most welcoming, wholesome, amazing scene.
I'll tell you what, though, the most I'll say psycho people in the pits I've seen has always been small built girls. Right?
Oh yeah.
There was one I'd gone to. There's one I went to. Honestly, it was big, 6'3", 22 stone blokes, and then maybe 5 foot, 6 stone soaking wet with bricks in their pockets. Girls go around. And
that used to be me.
Mickey, I'll save that one for later.
Damn it.
Yeah, crap. Bloody walked away from my thought again. Technical difficulty in my head. That's the usual thing.
You've listened to my show. I just completely forget how to talk. You know me.
Yeah, but your bailout is like, oh crap. Music. I can't do that.
Yeah.
But,
right, you say that half the time I forget I'm supposed to play music. So you know.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, sort of like, yeah, you're sort of like local scene in that. Like, what sort of, I'll say subgenre, is sort of more prevalent around your way, or is it more of a case of like, because of like, yeah, your love for like that horror punk sort of thing, you kind of like drift towards that a bit more, or is it? A night out, the night out kind of thing.
Honestly, anything. I mean, I'm not a going out type person. I'm always open about it. I stopped drinking 5 years ago. Very rarely I'll have a drink now at a gig or something. But I kind of, COVID happened, all that happened, stopped really going out. So when I do go out, it tends to be a gig. I mean, it can be anything. Honestly, this year it's been, I saw the 69 Eyes, which 14-year-old me would be crying, and 33-year-old me did cry. Dropped me in it, I cried. It was very emotional, but you know, old 80s style goth guys, you know, it's just smoke on stage and the guys wearing sunglasses, just moody singing for the whole set. Oh my god. And Wednesday 13, and other than that, it's mostly been bands that we've had on the show. We had a band called Rex, punk, I say duo, they have a drummer, but the two vocalists, a guy and a girl, absolutely incredible. I loved them. I found them online, absolutely fell in love, and they played in Swindon, which is really close to me. And I thought, that's weird, no one plays in Swindon. Turns out they do. I'm just really crap at paying attention. So I went to that, and you know, I discovered two other bands that I absolutely love. One of them, they were good, they were just not really my thing. But I mean, I'm up for anything. I've always said I'm not really into like black metal and death metal and stuff. I went to Southampton to see, I don't even know what Obi calls it, but you've learnt about Alphelan, which should be pronounced Aelphelan with the AE thing. Rob, shut up. But you know, that's not really my thing. And then again, Horrenda, I sound terrible, don't I? My friends in Horrenda, not my usual choice of music. Froglord, kind of a bit doomy slow for me, but I went all the way to Southampton to see them, and I had the best time. But
Mickey sent me a thing about this and the Froglord, and I'll tell you what, right, it was one of the weirdest things I've listened to. Right, I thought I like this because I like weird stuff, and then on the playlist that I had on, it had a lot of live stuff. I tell you what, when they come out this way, I'm gonna go see them. That was absolutely brilliant.
100%. I mean, all three of them. I think they sort of threw the gig together. I know there was another band. I feel terrible. I missed them, so I can't remember their name. But it was Horrenda, Froglord, Alphelan, and it was just three completely different but such good bands together. I really hope they do another tour together. I know there's probably going to be another Alphelan Froglord. You know, you can't not. Horrenda or in Ireland, so it's a bit harder. But yeah, if you get a chance to see any of those three, oh my god, like Horrenda, you've got the insane energy. None of them stay on stage. My mate is pretty sure he's the bassist. He might be guitarist. He plays both. He didn't stay on the stage for more than about 30 seconds. He's running around the blooming crowd with his guitar. The vocalist on the floor in the middle of the pit, and then Froglord, just the most amazing stage set. And then they bring out Herman, who is technically a toad. Herman, it's just so cool. Everyone loves it. Alphelan, her voice is, I think I described it as if Ginger was opera meets black metal. Like, absolutely.
Seth's voice is incredible.
The thing is, like, you listen to the music and her voice is just mind-blowing, but then you see it live and it's almost better live. Like,
Yeah.
I had literally goosebumps watching them. I was just absolutely blown away.
Yeah, I've seen Al Feeling twice for Metal to the Masses out this way, and
Oh,
I hold my hands up. The first time I saw him, I've always been a bit more metalcore, deathcore, that sort of thing. So it was different. So it's kind of, and my friend's band was playing in that same heat. So like I was kind of I hold my hand up and that complete narrow vision on the fact that I don't really. I've come out for a good night and I want to I want to like everybody. However, my main focus is my friends and my friends only sort of thing.
yeah.
Both Al Feeling and my friends of Celestial got through. They were both different semi-finals. However, they both ended up in the final together. Because that was when I'd started doing my music part to the podcast and everything. I spoke to him and that, and then sort of like it hit different the second time. You know what I mean? I don't know what it was. I don't know if it's because I've been talking to him or just sort of briefly or what. But I was like, I was quite disappointed with myself that I slept on them the first time.
Yeah. Oh, I've done that.
But yeah, like I'll have to get you to tell me about them other bands. I'll get them a check out as well.
I was gonna throw it out there if I can.
Yeah.
With Metal to the Masses, I completely so Chaos are covering Oxford and Bristol Metal to the Masses next year, which I said, oh, I'd love to cover Bristol, and they said yes. I thought I'm just gonna go out and grab some interviews and whatever, but the Bristol Metal to the Masses people were like, yes, do it. And I know 5 of the bands in there now, so I completely feel that one. Like I need to be impartial, but I feel like I know which 2 are probably going to make it to the finals, but I have to pay attention to all of them. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, so that's one thing I found hard doing, because I only covered one semi-final and the finale, and I won't go BS anybody. I mean, I said to everybody, like I wished everybody the best of luck. I genuinely meant that. I had my not prejudice. What's the word? Anyway, oh god, fucking like reset.
Look, you know who you feel like's probably going to win because.
My main thing was I was there to support my friends. That was like the main thing, right? At the end of the day, like I as much as I enjoyed it, listening to everybody, I love talking to everybody, and I said this 1,000 times, I can't be any more thankful for the just giving me 5 minutes of their time, and that. However, if I got who I wanted to win was my friends, but I mean for this sort of like we'll be covering like next year as well, which so we're going to be covering both the Ipswich and Norwich parts of the East Anglia one, which OB from you guys, is he covering the Ipswich one as well, or is it just the Norwich one he's doing?
I'm not entirely sure. I think there's been talk about it. There's been talk about like a couple of other areas we could cover. I think at the moment the confirmed ones are Oxford and Bristol, but even if not, I think that I don't know if they're playing it, but I'm sure he'll be there basically.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's take a travel back in time. So what started your interest in alternative music, I'll say?
Well, I want to Avril Lavigne and the Rasmus became a thing when I was growing up in the Netherlands. So I grew up in the Netherlands. Got my little I have to put it at the right angle, otherwise it becomes French. I got my Dutch tattoo. So I was born there. My parents are both British. They went over to experience the greenery in the Netherlands. I think they were about like 19, 20. They got a van. They went over. They were going to go for 6 months. They ended up, having me, getting married, having 2 more kids. So we moved when I was 11. One of the weird things, whilst the Netherlands is so close to here, the cultural difference is insane. So stuff like goth, punk, alternative, trav, none of that's a thing. People are just, they dress normal. You've got your interests, but everyone, you kind of just dress completely normally. People don't know what you're into. So I'm this little kid. I love the Rasmus. I love Green Day. I love Avril Lavigne. A lot of it's my mum as well. My parents are very musical. My mum got me, introduced me to Susie and the Banshees, Marilyn Manson. I think Manson was after we moved to England, actually. But Susie and the Banshees, Stevie Nicks, Alice Cooper. I think apparently I was rocked to sleep to one of Alice Cooper's songs as a baby. I wouldn't sleep to anything other than that song. And then on my 10th birthday, my oldest friend, who I met in nursery, Anna, I haven't spoken to her in years, but I see her on Facebook. Her mum had taken us to Amsterdam for the day. I think we'd gone to the Anne Frank house and just generally sightseeing, all of that. It's not weird to go there when you're 10, by the way, the Anne Frank house. We grew up learning about all of it. It's part of, culture growing up there. But we'd gone out for the day and we'd gone to this market. And for me at this point, it was the music, no fashion, nothing like that in it. And I saw it was opposite, like on a bridge, this market van. And I haven't seen that yet, but there were these 2 people. One of them had dreadlocks really long and like all these little spike hair clips, gorgeous, like gothy, weird fairy-like dress. And then a guy who had big platforms and the biggest mohawk and a choker with massive spikes. And I just saw them and I just thought, oh my God, that's so cool. And then we'd look to the right and there's this market stall van truck thingy selling all these spike chokers. And I said to my friend's mum, I was like, that's what I want to spend my birthday money on. So friend's mum obviously calls my mum, was like, is it okay? She gets a choker. My mum's like, that's fine, just get one with small studs. So she means like, the flat cone ones. So I look at them and go, well, there's some like that, and there's some like that, and some like that. So I get the ones like that. Massive. The guy at the stall gave me a discount because he had to take a stud out and cut some leather off to make it fit. And I wore the hell out of it. I still have it somewhere. And that just started out, just seeing them. And to me, that was just the coolest, most amazing thing ever. And it just kind of stuck. Like, I like the Rasmus when he had all the feathers and shit in his hair. Avril Lavigne, the little skater girl thing. Most people have an emo phase when they're in school growing up. In year 8, I spent about 3 months trying to dress normal. Literally, genuinely did. I remember the outfit as well. I wore blue jeans once as well in front of my mate when mine were, I think I'd stayed at my friend's house, put some blue denim jeans on, sat down next to him. It took him a few minutes to be like, oh, Ruby, because he just used to be wearing black and stuff. So, basically growing up with cool parents. My mum's always been a bit gothy, which is cool. And those random strangers in Amsterdam, wherever they are, them. And then I had a family friend, I think he's 2-3 years older than me. He started dressing gothy after me, but he got me into a lot of the music I'm into. I've just always been drawn to it.
You said about being rocked to sleep to an Alice Cooper song. That just reminded me. When my daughter was born, it was like the 30-year anniversary of Number of the Beast. So like everything on Sky Arts, Kerrang, that was everything Iron Maiden, and sort of like that's been one of the first bands I got into. That's I had it on a lot, and if my daughter could be screaming the house down, and Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter would come on, and she'd go to sleep. Right.
Oh, that's amazing.
Right. I thought the first time didn't think anything of it. Second time, I thought it's a bit weird, and then like third, fourth, fifth, sixth, like, is this going to be a thing now where we're going to have to go and play it now every time she's screaming the place down? Right.
It's a weird.
Hold on. So Bobby has said, question for us: how much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Bobby, I'd chuck you down the stairs and then set you on fire.
I'm going to turn it back. The old Argos pens or pencils.
Yeah.
The little blue ones.
Yeah.
How many could you fit up your butt over the space of 24 hours? Doesn't matter how you do it. This is from Dole. Doesn't matter how you do it. But they need to go up.
Is that what I stumbled back on the other night when you had Funeral Solution on? Because I nipped away for like, I swear, like a minute, come back, and then I was like, what the fuck did I come back to?
So that used to be it used to be one of like Dole's, like Dole does the unhinged stuff. I've said this many times on the show. When we interview a band, I do the whole introduce yourself, where does the band name come from, just chat about the band. And then we do some normal questions, where do you see yourself in however many years, a couple of other cool questions. I asked a few more, not weird, but like thought-provoking, and then Dole comes in with, would
Here's
you rather
hammer, assault each other? Answer a question and assault
that
each other.
The hammer's only in person. But yeah.
That's what they makes me laugh when I see them in interviews.
Yeah.
Right. So just quickly back. Firstly, I'll give Bobby a bit of this. Right. He says gotta love Iron Maiden, so I'll let you off on that one. Right.
I did see. I gotta say, Iron Maiden. I love Maiden. 2 Minutes to Midnight is like one of my favorite songs out there.
Yeah.
Like our favorite bands have favorite songs. I saw Iron Maiden live at. It was not the last download I went to the time before. The download that the accident started off the 5-0. Iron Maiden headlined, and seeing the Spitfire fly over, oh my god, incredible. They come on stage, Eddie, amazing. Band, they were kind of underwhelming, which really? I will say, like me and a couple of mates, one of them who also only went for Iron Maiden that year. I went for a few bands, but we were like, yeah, let's just go back to camp. And we were walking back, and they played 2 Minutes to Midnight as I was on the path back towards the campsite. It was great to hear. They were really good, but I was really not disappointed or underwhelmed. But then somebody said that it sounds like their sound tech screwed them over.
Right.
But so yeah, I'll never forget how underwhelmed I was. But I blame the sound tech.
You say about like walking away as 2 Minutes to Midnight started up. Bloke I used to know, he saw Maiden, I believe it was a download, and actually I don't know where it is at the minute. I think it's in the pile of crap I've got down there. He actually stole an Iron Maiden, the Trooper beer mat for me. So
nice.
But he said he sort of like he got to the point where he had to run to the toilet and that. Right, and he was mid-flow as the Trooper started. He was in a panic to get done quick enough so he could sprint back out as quick as he could.
I've done one where it was I'd seen Slipknot. This is before the 5-0. I definitely had chronic pain. I thought I was just being weak. So I'm at the front, not at the front for Slipknot, probably about 100 people back, but in that big area at Download where you can't move. I needed a wee. And if you're a girl at a festival and need a wee, you can't stay in the crowd. You can't just whip it out. So I'm just like, you know what? I've never crowd surfed. Crowd surfed to Slipknot. First crowd surf, absolutely amazing. Ran to the toilets, and then as I'm having a wee, they started playing a song that I really wanted to see. So I think it was like the fastest I ever weed. Ran back in the crowd, and I think I lost my phone during that sprint. But yeah, absolutely amazing.
What song was that?
I can't remember which one it was. but I just I can't even remember. I've seen them so many times, but I just remember being so hype and just losing my mind.
Bobby's asked, can you take your take on the difference between a goth and emo?
Okay, so I went to school during the start of the emo days, which is why I do the show, like 2005-ish. No, it was year 8. I met the other alt kids. It was about year 8, year 9 that emo started becoming a thing. So emo, think My Chemical Romance, but like the Black Parade, Panic at the Disco. Goth, think My Chemical Romance, Sweetest for Sweet Revenge, but also goth's been around forever. I think the music, the style, there's so much overlap, but so much difference. When I was in school, everyone was emo. Like I always said, I'm a goth, not emo. But emo, I'd say the fringe and the haircut I've got in a minute, but that's unrelated. I'm not emo. But big love to the emo kids. It was like, you've got they were the first ones to wear the skinny jeans, but they were drain pipes back then. Drain pipes, Converse, and a band shirt, like the sweatbands and these bracelets. Then goth, you're thinking studded chokers, corsets, a lot of fishnets, big platform boots. But there's so much overlap, man.
I remember sort of in college. I mean, I didn't have a great deal with AFI, but like that Miss Murder album, I kind of listened to a bit, and it was because Davey Havoc was emo goth sort of thing, which confused a lot of people.
It's hilarious. AFI were horror punk before Miss Murder when they were emo, but that's always been more of a goth style. So much overlap, man.
I mean, part of the reason I didn't sort of dive in that sort of thing is, like, I mean, I've said this before. Like, a lot of my thing for sort of growing up was like guiding towards stuff that I knew like my friends liked. And one of the lads in our group, then he's basically if he thought it was crap, it was crap. But he had been listening to AFI before that, and he said they seemed more like Metallica beforehand, and then with the Miss Murder stuff, it like changed a lot. I can't say that, I don't know. I just remember him sort of saying it was a very different in style.
I mean, I get that. Who was it the other day? I put on a song by a horror punk band who are now south of Salem, one of their previous bands, and Dan, who's We Are Horror Records, who partners with the House of Horror show, goes, this kind of sounds like Megadeth, I think it was. I was like, how dare you? But I think a lot of horror punk takes inspiration from those bands because it was around before these bands now, I guess. I mean, oh God, I'm so old.
Well, I mean, like you think about like, Ozzy, God rest his soul. The king or god of heavy metal, and he one of his biggest inspirations was the Beatles.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, I mean, whenever we get a band on the show, we always say send 3 of your own music, obviously, because we want to big them up, and then 3 tracks that inspire the band. You got some of the weirdest stuff, and it's like absolutely amazing. Oh, Mick is calling me out in the comments again.
I thought about bringing it up. I was like, no,
I tried to. Speaking of Ozzy, just said I did it quite right. The moment that Ozzy died, because I'd seen he'd done the last gig. I'm killing myself over the fact that I didn't get there, but he played the last gig. It was on his way out. I mean, I just so much respect from getting that last show out. And like, he was wheelchair bound, and they made him a throne. I love it. And we were thinking, I thought probably by the end of the year. So that evening, it was the last show for the station. We decided before the interview that was it, but we didn't make a point of it or anything like that. And we had the band Agabas on, which is the death metal with the saxophone that I'd seen in Bristol. And just massive big up to them. They went from being on our little show to they're supporting Avatar in Europe next year, which was insane. But so we have them on, and we just, there's a song playing, and I look at my phone. I can't remember what it was. I was looking something up, and my Google thing pops up. It's like Legend Ozzy Osbourne dies, and I was just, guys. I hate to be the one to say it, but Ozzy Osbourne's just died. Everyone's just like, oh my god, got 2 members of the band, me and Dole, and we're just like, and then I'm just like, and we're back in 3, 2. Oh my god, the worst situation ever. It was horrible. We were like, you can't not let the listeners know. So I told them we found a Sabbath track, but it was just like that moment. I said it, and I didn't even think to check how long, and then you're like 3 seconds to process it and go back on air. I had to tell the band. I just, it was awful.
As this thing, he like I say, he's like, he's the grandfather of heavy metal and everything, but he's not just a metal icon. He's pop culture icon in everything. Movies, reality TV.
Even my grandma, who's not into music, not into like reality TV, messaged me and said, "I heard Ozzy Osbourne died. Are you okay?" And I'm like, my grandma. My mum was a state because, I got another band I grew up with. I grew up with Sabbath. I grew up with Ozzy. My mum was into all that. And I think Ozzy, especially as a person, like his inspiration, like I said, I quit drinking like 5 years ago. I did a good 4.5 years completely sober. Basically, my first drink was like Bloodstock this year.
Yeah.
And now it's just at gigs. And he was one of those inspirational people for me. Like, I don't think I really put out who were inspiring for me, but he was one of them because he was absolutely insane back in the day and completely sober, clean, really on his health. And again, with disability, I know it's not the same, but being a wheelchair user and you still want to live that life. It's just been a massive inspiration. But yeah, he inspires so many.
Yeah, I was at work when that happened. I literally just got back from my break, went to go do a couple of things, and my boss came up to me and went, "Do you need to go home?" What? Are you right? Do you need to go home? I don't think anyone's dying. What?
Oh God!
Sort of thing. I'm thinking, like, no one's ill, no one's, because I've had a few family issues and stuff in the past, but I'm like, no, everything's good at the minute. And he was like, Ozzy's died. Ozzy Osbourne's died. Fuck off. It's all right, and then so like a couple minutes later, I look at my phone, and I'm like, oh, and like apart from actual family members, the last time I felt I had that sort of feeling, it was where in the space, I think it's space about 2 weeks, both Kimbo Slice and Muhammad Ali had died, which I box, so I used to do MMA and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, I know Kimbo Slice is never going to go in the Hall of Fame of greatest fighters and everything, but he's one of the first guys I watched doing that, and his style might have been crap, really, everything, but I just loved the guy, sort of thing, and so that was me in shock for the rest of the day, and then I got in the car and I loaded Amazon Music up, put Ozzy on, just because when I started getting into metal myself, like Paranoid was one of those first songs.
Oh, absolutely. Everyone knows Paranoid.
And I don't care what anybody says, right? I loved the Scream album. Right? That's well, even though I hadn't had a big deep dive into Ozzy and Black Sabbath and everything. That album come out and I heard it and I loved it. I thought it was great, sort of thing. Yeah. So I had that on repeat for a few days.
I think what got me was what's his name? Youngblood.
Yeah.
Not a fan of his music, but I've been following his socials for so long because he cares about the fans. He wears a skirt and doesn't give a shit.
he seems such a good dude. I'll be honest. I'm the same thing. I'm not a fan of his music, but like him himself, he seems such a great person.
Absolutely. I mean, again, going back to like accessibility, he's got the Bloodfast.
Yeah.
He does a festival, and he said like, I can't remember what it was, but like the first year, the second year he'd taken a lot of feedback about accessibility, and he had like so much more there. And I just thought he cares about everyone going. I think it was he'd sung Changes. Oh, and it broke me because I just seen the video of him. He'd given Ozzy a necklace. He'd got it like custom made for him, and then I saw that video of Youngblood covering Changes. And I was just bawling, and then not to up Mickey in it, but I think it was like it's the next day or the day after. I walked downstairs and he's a guitarist and a bassist. Can't remember which one it was, but he was playing Changes on one of the instruments, and I was just like, I'm gonna cry again. Oh my god. But yeah, I think that's probably the biggest one that hit me, other than Joey Jordison.
Yeah.
That one hit. Well, I'm the Murder Dolls girlie, Mickey Slipknot, and I say you've seen the dog Joey. That's who he's named after.
I mean, when I first started watching you guys, and I thought, I wonder. And then something got said a few weeks ago or whatever. It's like that confirmed it. That's right. I'm a good guess sometimes.
Because our dog Joey was born like a day or two after Joey Jordison died as well.
Oh right.
So it makes sense.
Yeah. So I mean, actually, that's now say about Ozzy. I mean, like, there's quite a few like this year because you got like Ace Frehley from Kiss.
Oh, that was rough. That was, and then I can't remember which one of the others got in a car accident like that same day or the next day. It was fine, but he got taken to hospital after crashing his car. I just thought, to be fair, that makes sense.
But I've never been a Kiss fan, right? I'll never say that they're crap. They're just not one for me. Sort of thing. I fully appreciate the fact that like X, Y, Z, ABC. That's their thing. It doesn't. It don't tickle my pickle, but like sort of. I know that listening to them makes someone else's day, and that's the great thing about music in general.
Absolutely. I mean, you've seen them. So me and Dol have very polarizing opinions on some music.
Well, I admit I listen to some right weird stuff here and there. The other week, you were doing a folk metal seen and heard.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, "You got any Tango Cavalry in it?" And you're like, "No, but I might be able to." And it's gone from a whole evening of Viking folk metal, and then it's out of nowhere, just like they did a couple of thousand years ago, the Mongols turn up, right?
That was amazing, though.
Right, and and I know someone I listen to that, I go, "How's that crap?" But
it's not for everyone. The reason I did that as a solo is because Dol's not really that into all that.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck it, I'll do it.
Right, so as you're into that horror punk sort of thing, I'm presuming that you're into the horror genre as a whole. Is that right?
I mean, I can't really see it. I got like a bunch of horror stuff up there, but yeah, I'm all about horror. I know we said we are going to touch on the nerd stuff in a bit, but one of my magic decks is horror based.
Yeah. So what sort of led you down that route, sort of thing? Is it sort of like what was kind of horror into the music, or music into the horror, or is this a case of it's just a happy coincidence of both?
It kind of. I'm going to blame my mum again, not in a bad way. So, when we lived in the Netherlands, the house of tall, narrow houses, my parents' room was in the attic floor, and I'd gone up to ask my mum something, and the scene from It, the original It, where Pennywise is standing on the lake with the clowns, calling out, and the kid looks away, looks back, and the body crawls out of the lake. I saw that when I was about 8, and I absolutely mesmerized. And my mum just goes, "Oh my god!" Hit stop. I was like, "No, mummy, I want to watch it." And she's like, "You can't watch that." I'm like, why not? So that kind of got me into horror. Always been into all weird shit. I mean, I grew up watching the Rocky Horror Picture Show up to the end of the Time Warp, and then the film ended until I was in my teens. I watched it on TV, and it carried on. I was like, "Hang on a minute." But me and my mates, the guy that I grew up with as well, they were 4 kids in that family, 3 in mine, spent a lot of time together. We used to sneak in when the parents were watching films, Arachnophobia, Ghost Ship. All those are like films that I managed to watch in my childhood because I got away with it. But always been into horror, been into creepy stuff. You know what they say about, young girls that have sleepovers together. We're just, making a Ouija board out of chalk on the floor and then throw the glass out the window. Although I did that once and the glass kept bouncing and we were terrified. But yeah, I've just always been into horror, always been into goth, punk, alt music. And then Michael, I'll make him watch this, which is the older family friend that I said was kind of gothy at one point, got me into music. He introduced me to Murder Dolls. That was it. I think I was either 10 or 12. And yeah, that was it. I still love them to this day. Absolutely love Murder Dolls, Wednesday 13. It was hard finding horror punk that I liked that, because I found 2 bands which turned out to be the same band renamed, and then they became South of Salem, who I do love. So I do love my goth rock stuff, but yeah, it's kind of a mix of all of it. Anything horror I love. So
God, I've really got to learn how to speak. Right. I mean, you've mentioned Wednesday 13. They are a loved band in our house as well. Literally only the first 2 albums, like Transylvania 90210 and Fang Bang.
I've got a Wednesday 13 tattoo as well.
Right. Honestly. Bad Things is mine and my daughter's song, right? And so, like, for those who don't know, imagine like someone's written a love letter to someone else, but instead of telling them how much they love them, it's telling them every bad thing they want to happen to them because they hate them so much, right? If you've never heard an 8-year-old girl enthusiastically and full of joy sing the words, "It would be really great if you drowned in a lake, I'll put a bag over your face and watch you suffocate," right? With a big old grin on her face, you haven't lived.
I love it. Right. Me and my mate, the one, that's the reason I have not much hair. He selfishly went and got cancer. He's fine now. He's a ball lighter, and we're both shaved our heads. But me and him, we bonded over our love for Murder Dolls and Wednesday 13 when I think we were 14 or 15. And ever since then, Bad Things has been our song. So, I went to see Wednesday 13 in, I think it was the start of November, and I just rang him during Bad Things, hung up, and I just gave him absolutely no context. And so a few days later, he was like, "Oh, were you actually there?" I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh, I thought you were just singing Bad Things to me again." Yeah.
I used to take her to a little she used to go to a boxing class on a Saturday morning, and literally all the way there, all the way back, that'll be out on repeat. And like I say, if you haven't had an 8-year-old girl singing that with a big grin on her face, and at the ending I go, "Daddy, can we have it on again?" Okay.
Amazing.
I could do that as well, right? And after the 6th time, like, I do like the rest of the album. Can we listen to a couple other things as well?
I think I know it was the first album, but Transylvania 902 is just the best album. I I love it so much. I remember because I got into Murder Dolls, and at that age, I didn't realise Wednesday 13 was a thing. And then I've been introduced to Kerrang when I moved to England. We got Sky after like a year or two, and Michael again, same guy. When I was in the Netherlands, his family lived in Germany, just across the border from us, about an hour drive. And then they'd come and visit us in England when we moved here, and they ended up moving to England. I ran into him at the pub the other day randomly. He doesn't live anywhere near here. But he showed me Kerrang! And I remember the first time I saw I Walk with a Zombie come on, and that was it. Oh my God. The video's amazing. The whole band's amazing. I've met them far too many times at this point.
I've
so
never seen the
lovely.
videos. I've never seen the videos of any of their songs.
Oh my God. You have to, you've got to check out, you have to check out I Walk with a Zombie because it's proper like B-movie horror style. It's just so great. It's
I get that feeling listening. That's one of my favourites on the album anyway. And the way just listen to the intro, you can tell it's got that B-movie horror, horror to it straight away. So the idea that the videos like that, it sounds hilarious.
So good.
I mean, like Buried by Christmas, I really like that.
Oh, you'll have to tune in on Tuesday. I don't know. When's my show? Tuesday, because I'm doing a few Christmas Eve songs, but they're not really. Buried by Christmas is great. It's like all I want is a black velvet lined casket and a bucket of chicken.
Yeah, the first time I heard that, I heard a bucket of chicken.
I'm in fits. I mean, yeah, they've got a real. I've said this on a lot of shows when I've had bands on, but my thing is like, you can't take life too seriously, you can't take music too seriously, and they seem to have this perfect balance of absolutely taking the piss and really deep, meaningful songs, and I love it. Absolutely.
Yeah, a mate of mine in college got me into it. It's sort of like it showed me something else and stuff on Fang Bang and that, and then I nipped an HMV and I was looking at the CDs and that, and there was them, and I can't remember what the other band was called. It's like a zombie punk band, and I can see the band. I just cannot think of what their name is. And
not Misfits, is it? Because
no, it weren't Misfits. It was so we're talking like 2007ish, like 06, 07 sort of time. But they'd been around for a while. And I was in two minds whether to get that or get the Transylvania 90210, and I got the 90210, and then he was giving me, he was like, what, because like I think the album I was looking at was one that he didn't have, right? Ooh. And then I'd got, like I said, I got Transylvania 90210, and then my mate who was in the Wednesday 13, he's like he goes like, I couldn't pinch out a you, could I? So, yeah, go on then. So, and then, I ended up with Fang Bang coming the other way. All right. Yeah, no worries. I have a brain fart. Right. Yeah, so I'm bloody brain farting like fuck right now. But yeah, if right, I feel free to just
Well, I was gonna say I'll vanish for a sec,
excuse
but
yourself
I
for a moment. I'll try and think of something to keep you guys entertained with. Is Bobby still about? Is there any crap he wants to give me? Make things entertaining a bit. Just double check back on the comments and stuff. I'm definitely gonna give her some crap for that one. How are we doing this fine Friday evening? Everybody watching? Any big plans for weekends at all? Well, personally, I just got a bit of Christmas shopping tomorrow because I'm organised like normal, and unfortunately working on the Sunday. What we got coming up? How is everyone's Christmas plans? Anybody got anything special coming up over the next couple of weeks at all? Anyone?
Cancel it all. I'm back.
It's all right. I talked telling everybody nipping off of that drug deal and everything. Yeah, sort of. Don't worry. A terrible joke. Terrible joke.
I completely missed it. Sorry. Nick is hell diving.
That's a good thing to do. Anybody who hasn't played Helldivers, do it. It's awesome, especially if you love absolute carnage. So where was we? Oh yeah, we're rambling about Wednesday 13, weren't we? So yeah, just go on. Yeah, sort of moving on a little bit from music, sort of going to like. I'm not a big horror fan, so like I can't really go with sort of like.
That's fine.
It's one of them things where it's like I'd like to get into, but like it's weird. It's like, all right, okay. Admitting this as a grown man is sort of thing. Growing up, those sort of things scared the crap out of me, so I didn't want to watch any of that. So like I like a sci-fi horror because I love my sci-fi. So like Alien, for example.
Oh yeah,
absolutely, yeah, great. Whereas like any of those other sort of ones always put me off. Yeah, in my teens, I love the zombie movie. Yeah, but things like The Conjuring, all that sort of thing, doesn't interest me. Sort of thing. What was like your sort of like, I would say favorite series, but like sort of which one's sort of like you like the most, I suppose.
So overall, I love a good psychological horror. Like the others, that oh my god, like blown away. Anything with a good twist. Realistic stuff as well. Like what was it? Looking back, watching it back now, it's crap. But 2012, was it 2012?
What, the end of the world?
Yeah, anything like that. Oh my god, because I'm like, it could happen. Alien films, I like them, but I've never been massively into them. I mean, favorites. Oh god, favorite horrors. Definitely, there's a film called Ritual. It's this group of people. They go to, I think they go to like Norway or something, or Finland, hiking mountains, and this big cryptid thing is hunting them. But it's like haunted stuff as well. A lot of weird sigils and kind of like the Blair Witch, but a group of them, and it's not. I don't know. I guess the Blair Witch is kind of very similar to Ritual, actually. Maybe that's why I like it so much, thinking about it. But anything that's like, I don't know. anything that's just really creepy, which doesn't really explain it very well. Midsummer, I loved Midsummer. Like The Wicker Man, a horror I grew up with, but also slashers like the basics. You've got Halloween, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street. I've always been a Friday the 13th girl. That's why we've got the wedding rings tattooed on the 13th. Our official date is Friday the 13th. Always been into all that, like, I don't know, something about an old school slasher. The Final Girls, another great one. I don't know. There's just so many horror things I love, and going right back to the originals as well. You watch them and you think, this isn't even scary. Like The Omen, people were passing out in the cinema, and I'm like, what? And then you think about what it was like back then. That was so new to the genre, and these days it's so hard to come up with something unique in horror. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, me and the missus watched the what's it called, Ed, what's his name, the Netflix thing,
Ed Gein.
yeah, the Ed Gein thing, and so like when they were using that, when you said about the part on there when they were using his thing to influence Psycho. Right. Even I've not seen Psycho, but I imagine it's his normal sort of 60s movie where it's kind of, by today's standard, a little crappy. However, like you say, then it wasn't a thing, right? Because horrors tended to be B movies anyway. But I suppose horrors then was a Dracula movie, werewolf, the mummy movie, Frankenstein, all that sort of thing. Whereas like having a Fruit Loop with a knife, however, is brand spanking new.
It kind of goes back to like you said as well. You're not really that into Kiss. I'm not. I like Kiss a lot because of Role Models. That film, absolutely amazing. Not horror, but hilarious. But I'm not that big into Kiss, but you got to respect, like, they were one of the first to do that. It's the same with horror. You go back to some old school horrors like Silence of the Lambs, absolutely brilliant film, but really not that scary. And then, but when it came out, it was horribly terrifying, like the most messed up thing anyone could think of. And they started the scene. I think with horror, it's so picky as well, because I've seen films where at the end I'm like, what the hell was that? But I think one thing I said to Mickey, like, I've had sleep paralysis once in my life. It was horrible. My sleep paralysis demon is nothing. It's literally when you're watching a horror film and it's like that big moment where like you finally see like the Babadook or Mama or whatever come around the corner, you finally see it. It's that moment just before where you're anticipating seeing this horrifying thing. That's my sleep paralysis demon. That's what freaks me out. You don't know what it looks like, you don't know what it's doing, but it's there and it's so scary. So as soon as and then the Babadook, I loved it, and then it got to the end and I'm like, oh, okay, never mind.
Mickey has mentioned said he needs to watch The Exorcist now. We'll rewatch it now.
There was one recently. I think it was either The Exorcism of Jane Doe or Emily Rose, because there's two of them, but one of them, and it's, oh my god, it was probably the freakiest one I've seen. Like, it terrified me. It's this guy doing an exorcism on a body. A mortician, like, embalming the body, doing all that stuff. The body's possessed. Oh my god. I'm not that in possession, and that doesn't really scare me, but that film did it so well. Now we're going to have to watch The Exorcist.
You've pre-booked a movie night. That's not. Are you much of a gamer at all? I remember you saying something about playing Minecraft like before we went live with that. All right. Do you
Yeah.
like a horror game as well? Or
I do. I'm so picky. I'm picky with horror. I'll watch it and but I will say Layers of Fear. Oh my god, great horror game. I've played it through like 2 or 3 times now, and every time it scares the crap out of me. But like general gaming, I'm very fantasy. Like I'm playing Minecraft at the minute because Final Fantasy isn't loading for me. I play the MMO, Monster Hunter, but on the DS, I tried it on the Switch. I couldn't get on with it, so I'm a DS Monster Hunter. Divinity, which oh my god, if spoiler alert, if you didn't watch the was it annual gaming awards in either Vegas or LA, wherever that was, they've announced the 3rd Divinity coming out. People that don't know, Divinity, Larian are the people that did Divinity did Baldur's Gate, like helped on Baldur's Gate 3, which I haven't actually played Baldur's Gate 3 all the way through, but I'm very, it sounds bad to say, I like my MMOs, but I like to game solo as well. I'm very picky who I game with, so if I've got to run a dungeon or Final Fantasy and my mates aren't online, I would just wait. But yeah.
I could be like that with certain games, but the problem is how modern gaming is. There's so many assholes online, right? You're not playing it their way, or they just want to troll because they've got nothing else to do in their life. Well, it just really puts you off playing with random people. I have this same thing you have.
Yeah. I'd run a dungeon. I had a newbie playing with us. I think one of the important things with these games is like you got new people joining, but I am a loot gremlin. I am a loot gremlin. I'll get into that. But so on Final Fantasy, it's an MMO, beautiful RPG, absolutely stunning. And I'd actually started playing it again because I had to return. What was it? My wheelchair broke. I had a power chair that broke. I didn't have a car, so getting out the house was impossible unless someone picked me up or Mickey took me, which we couldn't go far. So I thought, I can't go for walks. I can't go out. I'll play Final Fantasy, walk through beautiful areas, whatever. And people assumed I was a newbie because I made a new character and not a new account, but new character on that server. You got the little newbie thingy, and I play a lot of different classes, but I was the Dragoon or Lancer at that point. It was a low level dungeon, and there was another newbie who was actually new to it, and then who I assume were 2 fans, who were a tank and a healer. And you expect like the healer, when somebody dies, the healer resurrects them, but they didn't. And I, as a DPS, ended up resurrecting someone. I had to res the newbie because the healer didn't, and I was just like, it was almost like they were taking the piss because, these are newbies, they can do whatever. And I'm just like, dude, what are you doing? I've been playing this game for about a decade. Sort it out. But yeah.
There's nothing worse when you play a game where each person has a role or whatnot and they don't do their bloody role. Right, you said being a healer, like I play Hell Let Loose and I like to play as a medic. So I spend most of my game running around trying to pick people up. Doing my part of the job, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because whereas like I'll play it where I've got into a squad and someone has taken the medic role, so I'll go somewhere else, and you go down and you like watch the medic run past you, and you're like,
literally, like the people that I know and game with, they know what they're doing. I know what I'm doing. I mean, I play Dragoon, which means I tank from the floor. I just die immediately. That's just part of it's just part of being a Dragoon, They're known to die a lot. And someone was sitting on me in this like massive, I think it was a raid one. They were like, why do you keep dying? I was like, because I'm a floor tank. I'm literally playing Dragoon. What are you doing? But they were just so crappy. I'm constantly healing myself. And, I make an effort to try and heal myself because I know the class they play as is known for dying quickly. but just some of them are so horrible. Yeah.
Oh, brain fart again. God, why is it when everything runs well on a play stream, this has the technical difficulties? Yeah, I mean, like you say, like, you get that thing where it's a case of like, this is supposed to be a team game. We have certain roles with it. We're supposed to help each other out and everything, and then there's either someone who won't. I'll let them off again. If you get someone new and they haven't played the game, they don't know what they're doing and everything. Yeah, you got to give everyone a bit of a pass on that one. But then it's like, like I say, like a game like Battlefield or Hell Let Loose or whatever, like Medic Ania, or fuck off. No, mate, that's your job. I understand. I understand what's going on, but your job is to pick me up.
Literally, it's like, rather than shitting on people for not being amazing because they're brand new, just either give some advice and tips or shut up and just do what you need to do.
And they'll be the first person complaining that you're not doing your job.
Yeah.
When it doesn't benefit them. So say about playing your fantasy games. Would you say Final Fantasy is like your sort of favorite, or is just happens to be your main one at this moment?
It's definitely up there with favorites. It's the game that got me into MMOs. But that it's definitely between Final Fantasy and Divinity. Like Mickey said, I'm a loot gremlin. I'm that person that I'll go back and I'll loot the thread of somebody just because they've got it. But then I end up rich because I sell it. My favorite thing is breaking into somebody's house as a rogue, teleport behind the door, steal all their shit, sell it back to them, get rich.
Oh, so the way you said that, I'm gonna say I used to play Fable a lot, so he's running people's houses, steal the stuff, and then run away because you stole it in front of someone. Or I remember the old the old scam, the money making scam where you buy a house, you loot it, you boot it all up to the highest thing as well, then you punch the doors off, put your most prized trophy on the wall, sell the building, sell it, run back in, steal your trophy back, then buy it back for like $2,000 less, and sort of. I have times where I can be like you say, Luke. You're picking a pencil off a dead body or something like that. Yeah, sort of. It's like playing things like Delta Force or whatnot. It's like right, okay, on the extraction mode, it's right.
You never know when you're going to need half
50 quid at the end of the day. Sort of thing. Sort of like, but I also play with some Uber loot goblins as well. Where it'd be a case like bang bang he's dead, bang bang he's dead. Dude, why are you looting the guys I killed? But
yeah, that's me.
Just swing it around to the wrestling portion. You're not a massive wrestling fan yet, which yet, right? But you said that you're not anti-wrestling at all.
No, not at all.
There are certain parts you like. So what parts do you like the most? Where that's concerned? Because obviously, like things like music is, that's quite universal.
I mean, I think the main thing is just the thing where Sting takes his mask off and he's wearing the mask face paint underneath. That literally, one time I've seen a gif of it, just takes it off and it's the same. Absolutely killed me. The music, obviously, the outfits. I think I said to Mickey before nobody's allowed to kill me for this, but I think I said to him it's like Drag Race because it's a lot of close contact guys, spandex and sequins, and you're just roasting the shit out of each other and then there's good music. But yeah, a lot of the music, I mean, as you can probably see in the title, my name is under Ruby Soho as well. which was before the wrestler Ruby Soho came along and got the song, because I'm a Rancid fan. But like, you know, seeing the video of her being told by Rancid that she could use the song, I think I cried.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, she become friends with the Rancid frontman. I can't remember his name. I hold my hands up. And like while she was still in WWE, and then when she left and was going to AEW and that, somehow they end up chatting about it and everything, and he couldn't have been any more excited for her, the idea of her using that song. Yeah, and which you know, it's awesome. I mean, on one hand, it fits everything perfectly, and free advertising is free advertising. So,
Exactly, and like it fits her so well. Like from what I was thinking, I watch wrestling here and there when Mickey has it on. I think it's like, I don't know. I'm not into sports, and wrestling is sport enough that it's just not doesn't really vibe with me. But you know, the bits I've watched, I've enjoyed. And there's been times where, you know, I've got really into a game and I can't not. And like Mickey's mentioned somewhere in the chat, I called someone Korean Michael Jackson. I think that was a wrestler.
Yeah, I'll sorry, I'll just go back and pop it up. She referred to the Japanese Shinsuke Nakamura as a Korean Michael Jackson.
I was like, is that like Korean Michael Jackson or something?
So
years ago, still not forgiving me.
That tickled me when he posted that. So, but I mean, like the thing is, though, right? I mean, yeah, genuinely, I can see that comparison, like that sort of 80s, early 90s Michael Jackson sort of style. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, I'll tell you one thing I think you need to have a look at it. Like, go and watch like Halloween Havoc from like a couple of years ago or whatever. Because I think you need like a Shotzi Blackheart or something like that. I think that might be a bit more up your street. She's very like horror punk kind of thing as well. You know when you get some like horror shows and that where you got the girls with like the metal breastplates on and they got the grinders doing all the she's done that at WWE events. So I think when she was working there. And Halloween Havoc was like it's one of the NXT shows, the developmental, but even though she was like a main roster, they'd always have her come back as host on it and whatnot, you know, because just absolute psycho. But like that horror style fit her so well. And yeah, I think that's the sort of thing you need. That might be a good gateway for because I think that's, yeah, sort of like, yeah, how in music there's always something you can relate to, and that's something that can, whether it's just the fact that it makes you feel this way, or you're pissed off and this song sounds really angry and that's exactly how I feel, or I feel sad and that's exactly saying it. Wrestlers can be the same way, you know. I got picked on and bullied as a kid, you know. I see someone like a John Moxley who is this big hard bastard who don't give a shit and wants to fight everyone. He's angry all the time. You know what I mean? It's like that's who I wanted to be as a kid. Yeah, sort of thing. So
I could completely see, like, I can see why people love wrestling. It's like, you know, when I was, you know, I always got bullied as well. It never really affected me because they were like, oh, dirty goth. And I'm like, I'm not insecure about being a goth. Like, okay. But, you know, having like someone inspiring to look up to, and yeah, wrestling is fucking great. And there's so many different styles of people. Is that one the one that's always wearing fucking Burberry scarf and that?
Oh yeah, MJF.
That was hilarious. There's I did a couple of years ago for Halloween. I did Danhausen's makeup. I love him. He's hilarious. He's great, but it's the actual wrestling I'm not that into watching, but like the characters they come out with, the makeup, the style, the music, and I've got friends that are all into wrestling as well, and Mickey obviously loves it. And it's like the amount of work that goes in to make it look so realistic is absolutely incredible. But I just can't see myself watching it for more than half an hour.
Well, I mean, like I thought, like I said, I mean, like if for instance, if you found a I use like Shotzi Blackheart as a thing because like her character does fit you quite well, actually.
Yeah.
And yeah, like others around and whatnot, but like that, she's always one that stands out for me, like for that like horror style character. Danhausen, I absolutely love him. I think he's hilarious. Right, I know his thing is heavily influenced by that really old B movie horror thing. Anyway, that kind of what's his name? He used he used to like run like one of those like horror TV shows that would have like loads of like short movies or would host a horror night. He's mentioned in a Wednesday 13 song, and it's going to annoy the crap out of me. I can't think of his name.
It's not Vincent Price, is it?
Vincent Price, that's it. That's exactly what I was thinking of, right? Yeah, he's heavily influenced by like when you had a Vincent Price movie marathon or whatever. But yeah, I mean, like I'll compare it to boxing right now. If there's a box, you look at a boxing card and you go, I don't give a shit about any of these fights except for that one, right? You can do the same thing in wrestling. You can go, right, I'll go watch that one match because they're involved with it. And
I've done it before. I've walked in and been like, oh, this looks cool. Just watch that match, and there was like a horror-ish type guy, and there were a bunch of horror guys in the background, and it was like filmed almost like a found footage horror, the intro. I think I watched a fair bit of that because I think
that's another thing. It's like the White Six. That's that's again a very horror influenced kind of thing as well. I've brain.
Good.
So aside from horror and music and everything, what sort of other more nerdy things are you big into?
Well, I got into Magic: The Gathering. I always said I wouldn't get into it, and then someone I was dating got out a deck and gave me a bottle of rum when I was drinking. I went, right, you're learning to play Magic. Now I have way too many cards. I have a horror deck and a dragon deck, so I do love playing Magic. I love it. It's just so fun. The art's beautiful. But I think the main one at the minute, and I have a prop I have to show you, is this board game, Talisman. So I managed to get my sister to come and play it with some nerdy mates the other day, and she ended up describing it as if nerds made Monopoly, because you got to screw each other right over, steal their shit. It's a very long game. I've had it take 8 hours. I've done it in less than an hour. I think one of my favourite things I've got to show you, just to also shout out my friend Az. He painted my figures for me. That one, he's got glow paint all over like the top of the sorcerers. There's toads because you turn into a toad. That's got glow paint. If I had the ability and the patience, I'd love to paint figures like that. Like, I've got friends that do Warhammer, and I'm like, I would never have the patience.
As someone who, did Warhammer as a teenager, the reason I didn't do it now, stopped doing it, is because I had to do grown-up things instead. So everything's sat in the bottom of the cupboard. yeah, I fully appreciate the time it takes to do that, because I would spend hours on a figure and I was crap.
Oh, like literally the time, the patience, the detail. I mean, I can't show it on camera, but like one of them is used actual like aluminium metal based paint on the axe to make it shine. And shit, what? I mean, you can vaguely see it behind the Christmas tree. That is it was a horror dollhouse which was falling apart. So I'm redoing it. And I've done some witches' shells and miniatures for it.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And I have tics as well. So trying to focus on the tics start, and I'm like, forget it. Luckily, they go away a lot of the time when you're focusing on stuff. But sometimes I'll be doing it and I'm just like, God damn it. I can't do anything because my hand's just like, oh, let's do this for ages. I don't think I could ever paint the figures, but art stuff, but tabletop games, should be starting D&D again soon. All that kind of shit. All about it. Like, there's so many other board games I play as well, other than Talisman, but Talisman's my favourite.
I sort of like for me, I mean, like, I mean that kind of thing. I used to play Warhammer. I've got 40k stuff. I've got Lord of the Rings stuff. Since I moved out with my mum and dad's, it's just sat in the box.
Oh.
The last few years I started playing Risk again, which I've got 4 versions of now, because I've got a Vikings one that's in the TV series. I've got a Warhammer 40k one. I've got 2 Star Wars ones. Played a decent amount of Hero Quest as a kid as well. My dad absolutely loved that one. D&D I've only played once, and that was a day at a mate's house that was mostly one mate shouting at him. No. It was my mate's house shouting at another mate because they're best mates and they just give each other shit the entire time. It was just drinking. It was drinking and pretending to be an orc for the day. It was great.
I love it.
It was like, yeah, we're gonna do this, and this. And I'm like, you guys know I've not played this before, right? And like, sure, we'll all start at level 20, okay? And then it's like,
first time I played it, I was like, what the hell am I getting into? And it's like, I was trying to teach my sister to play Talisman the other day. She goes, how do you play it? And I was like, you have to play it to work out how to play it. Like, you just have to go in blind, have fun, see what happens. I mean, you can't really make many mistakes because like if you do something wrong, they're just like, oh, it's actually like that. Okay. And then before you know it, you're spending 70, 80 quid on a fucking board game and then 200 quid to get the figures painted by your friend. So, yeah.
So you said about that being like compared to like a Monopoly, because I don't know anything about that one. So it's not like a dungeon crawler where you work as a team like a Hero Quest.
It's so there's 3 rings. You have to get, it's a quest to the center. So you kind of, as you're playing, if you land on another square, you can fight the other person. Most squares you draw a card. It could be like you've got a sword, or here's the talisman, here's some gold, or a 7 strength dragon. And if it kills you, you lose a life. And it's just it's so complicated to try and explain. But it's, when I say Monopoly, in the sense of you have to play it to learn it. You can screw other people over because if you kill someone's character, you get all that shit. Everyone hates everyone by the end of it and is throwing dice at each other for screwing each other over. And trying to actually play it to the end seems impossible. But when it does happen, it's amazing.
But when you say about fighting each other, is that a case of like you're dead, you're out, or is that like a dead, you have to start again?
So you roll dice to add to your strength, and like whoever's got higher wins. Loser loses a life, but obviously as you lose in life, if you lose all of it, your character's dead. You can start a new character, which starts somewhere else right from scratch. But yeah, you can thieve from people, you can steal their stuff, you can kill them. it's just chaos, but in the best way.
So, so is it a case of like I said, I genuinely know nothing about it. Is it like 4 people and the board kind of thing? You know, like D&D, like Hero Quest, where it's like
Yeah, kind
Yeah,
of.
you,
So
you,
the board, you know, you draw a card on its face. That could be something you've got to fight. You don't have to fight each other. You can very much just play the board and not fight each other, but it's an option, and people think it's funny, and then it turns into just war.
right. So just so it's clear in my head, there's not someone playing as the board. It's like,
No,
yeah,
you'll
okay.
play as yourself, but like you draw a card from the center when you land on a thing. It's like draw 1 card or 2 cards, and then you play against those cards. If that makes sense.
Yeah. So that's all right. That's all. I'd rather ask a silly question so I know it's right rather than go,
You're good.
sure. I didn't.
I mean, it definitely is the game that you have to play it to make sense of it.
I might have to have a word with my dad, see if he want to go off on one.
That's fine. I'm not going to crack the board out right now.
Are
Spine's killing me. So
you good?
yeah, pain kicks in after a while of sitting. That's all.
So I don't know what you're about, but I understand what you're about. I said to you earlier, like my missus and my mum had fibromyalgia, so I fully appreciate. So would you say Talisman's like one of your favorite ones, or is it one that you like? Any that you like more?
It's definitely my favorite board game.
Yeah. So what sort of characters do you get, or is it a case of that you just create a character like D&D style?
It's kind of, they're pre-made characters, but they've all got their own like abilities and things like that. So like, you've got the sorceress, you've got a thief, you've got a bard, a troll, ogre. It's like, you know, some of them have more strength, some of them have more craft because they're spell based, and but you draw them at random. So that's always fun because like every character has like pros and cons, but some of them, like I always do really well if I'm playing as the sorceress. But I had what was it? I think I had the bard, and I just did really bad and I died. And I got the sorceress and I almost won. So yeah, it's sort of it's just a different game each time because like you gain all these abilities and you know you get your weapons and armor and stuff as you go around the board and stuff. So it's just always completely different. You never know what character you're going to draw, and then you make that character work. So if you've got like really shit strength, you could go on a mission to like build up the strengths more. Yeah, it's basically like it would be like D&D but with a pre-made board.
Yeah. The way you've been describing it, like in my head, is this D&D and Hero Quest gone like that?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I sort of. So the way you describe it is like, you know, you can do stuff with your character and upgrade and this, that, and the other. That sounds very D&D like. And then, yeah, you say about each character has a certain role, certain strengths, and all that, and the other. Well, that's exactly what in Hero Quest you get your barbarian who's strong as hell, but then you get your dwarf and your I think it's a mage and an archer and an elf.
Yeah,
it's been a minute. Sort of thing, and they all have. He's quick. He hits hard. He can shoot you from far. Sort of thing. So yeah, it definitely sounds like something I'm gonna have to give a go.
It's a lot of fun.
You'd mentioned about playing Magic the Gathering. I tried to play that, but the problem is I tried to play that on a computer system rather than like cards on it. And like the problem is when you do that, it's sort of it's one of the things where it expects you to play straight away.
I think cards are personally. I think cards are easier, but I have like a paper diary, notebook, pen. Yeah, I can't get on with the calendar on my phone. I'm crap. Yeah. But I think it's one of those games. It's best to learn to play it by playing against somebody who knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
Have a drink if you drink. That helped me back then. But again, it's like you just kind of you wing it, and if they're like you can't do that or I wouldn't do that, you know, have a good friend or someone play against like teach you to play.
Yeah.
But again, it's you've got your 5 basic colors. You've got like mountains, fire-based stuff like, I don't know, I think the trolls and ogres and stuff like that. You've got tree-based stuff like elves and stuff. Plains, which is more like magic-y things. Swamps, which is your undead stuff. And islands, which is water-based stuff. And each color has like its own power-based dynamic. You've got some that like you get hundreds of cards out onto the board. Some of them you wait and you've got really strong hitters. It's just a lot of fun. Again, it's something you've got to play it to learn it. Yeah. But once you do, you end up spending so much on cardboard.
Yeah, I mean, I know, like some people can spend like thousands trying to build their deck up. And sort of. I mean, I did upset one of my mates because I tried to compare it to something else, but I also know fuck all about this other one as well, because everything that I've seen about it is like, well, it seems kind of similar to Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
Kind of like each character, each thing has, you have I'll say your character cards, and they do all this, and then there's your boost or ability cards and everything, and this card's in attack, this card's in defense, and the basics that I know.
Yeah.
And I've said to one mate, and he's like, yeah, and another mate has been like, I might as well say I punched his mum in the face because he's so upset about the comparison.
Some people will get very offended, but yes, it's like Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Pokemon cards, like the basic of it. But I think all the cards are different. I've never really played the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game, but it looks very similar.
Again, that's something I tried to play on a computer. I mean, a mate of mine, he did say he was going to teach me once, but like we were doing stuff at the time, and I just kind of never got round to it and everything. Because I mean, he tried to teach me when we were 13 at school, right? And I did not pick that up at all. And then I think it was last year or the year before, it was like we were talking about it, he's like, I've still got my stuff upstairs, do you want to learn? It's like, well, there's one I was like, well, not today, but like I'm sure we can, and again, that would have been a drinking session anyway. So like, that definitely would have been fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth having a go. It seems so confusing at first, but again, once you get going and you realise what you like to play as, what colour works with, like what you're like, it just gets so easy.
I'm guessing it's sort of thing. You need kind of like a well-rounded, or a reasonably well-rounded deck. You're not gonna build your deck like purely say undead. You're gonna have something extra bits added into it as well, or
so you've got your creatures, your spells, like boosts and all that. You can get pre-made decks. I have a few pre-made ones, but building your own, it takes a lot because you have to like work out what works with each other. You can look up online, and you get a pre-built deck, and you look at what cards you need. Some of them are like hundreds of pounds. It's ridiculous. I think when it comes starting out, it makes most sense to start with the smaller ones, which are the 60 card decks. They usually come in a pack of 2 decks, so that's the starting point, and they're pre-built ready for you. Really good way to get started, and then you can look at EDH, which is where you have your commander and 100 cards. Both of them are so much fun though.
When you said about the 2 decks, I suppose like, the only thing I can think of to compare it in my head is I remember as a kid buying the Pokemon packs, the big starter packs and everything. It'd be like, right, okay, this is a fire-based Pokemon deck. It also and it would always have like what the main part of it is up against, what it's strong against. A small deck of what it's strong against. That's right. That's like I said, I just thought that's right in my head, this sort of thing. Because like that, Pokemon is like literally the only thing I can compare stuff to, that sort of thing, right? As daft as it sounds. It's I fully appreciate the fact that, like, as a Pokemon fan, I'm a fire Pokemon fan, but I know fire Pokemon don't work against water. So
yeah, I mean, it's kind of difficult with Magic because it's not that precise. But like you've got say you've got a blue-white deck, there's a lot of Magic and all that stuff would probably not be as great against some hard-hitting strong decks, depending who it's kind of like with Pokemon, you've got, like you said, water will beat fire, but it's slightly more intricate. So it's like, I don't know, Pokemon times 10.
yeah. I said I did this a lot of times. Like, all right, what's the simplest form I can translate this into so it dumb brain picks it up?
Yeah,
it's just sort of,
as a basic rule, absolutely, it works kind of like playing Pokemon, like the card game and that. But yeah, it is just more. There's just a bit more to it. So like, yeah, the basics is it's like playing Pokemon.
Right. I think this is a good place to sort of cool things for this evening. I'm sure we can arrange a part 2 or a later date. Thank you ever so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
I really appreciate. I appreciate you putting up with that crap, but I appreciate you taking the time to come on and chat and crap with me for best part of 2 hours.
No problem. I will say, I was saying earlier, took my mum shopping, bless her, and I said like I'm nervous because I'm not used to being on the guest side. I'm used to doing the host side, but it's been really fun. Really enjoyed it.
Again, thank you for coming on. Is there anything you want to plug at all?
Chaos, obviously. Chaos Under No Ties. The music journalism, radio show, podcast, everything kind of thing that we do. So if you're into any of your alt music, any alt metal music really, check out linktr.ee /Chaos Under No Ties. We're also Chaos Under No Ties on pretty much all socials because nobody took the name. Yay. So yeah, come and check us out. Like I said, I'm on 2 shows a week. We've got 5 or 6 shows at the moment a week. We talk all things music and just about everything else, really. So yeah, that really, and thank you very much for having me on. It's been really cool.
That's all right. All right then. Thank you everybody for watching. Thank you everybody who's been commenting and everything. Bobby's not even here to distract me today. Please go on and follow everybody over on Chaos Under No Ties. Honestly, right, to go and listen to the shows, especially if you love rock, metal, punk, right. Great music on all the time, right? I've discovered a ton of stuff listening to you guys. We had Mickey and OB on a few weeks back. Go back and watch that one. If you get a chance, obviously time of recording. I was on Blair Witch Project last night. With Mickey. Go over to Mixcloud, right? Like I said, follow them, give that one a watch, and everything, and So once again, thank you everybody for watching. Thank you to our guest Ruby for coming on and putting up with me for a couple of hours. Right. Have yourselves a great weekend, everybody. Take care. Good night.
Bye.